folks, this is Scott Nelson from SLN Financial with our August 2014 Educational Economic Update. In this month's video, we will be discussing some of the important events that affected markets last month to give you some insight into what they mean for you as an investor. Please stay tuned at the end for a required disclosure statement. August was overall a pretty good month for the economy. Investors got their second look at second quarter gross domestic product numbers and are starting to think about what the rest of the year might look like economically. After a long cold winter that caused economic activity to stagnate, the economy came roaring back in the second quarter. The latest estimate shows that the U.S. economy grew by 4.2% in the second quarter, the fastest pace of growth since the third quarter of 2013. Even better, the growth was spread across many sectors of the economy, indicating that this may not be a one-time deal. After many quarters of sluggish growth, the economy might be finally moving in a self-sustaining expansion as growth in one area feeds improvements elsewhere. Expansion in the labor market is feeding consumer confidence, which is translating into greater consumer spending, which will hopefully continue to stoke economic growth. One place in which the consumer spending has been visible is in the retail sector. Though second quarter earnings were pretty lackluster for most retailers, the back-to-school period was a bright spot, hopefully portending greater consumer spending this quarter. Since back-to-school season is the second largest shopping period for retailers, it can often act as a bellwether of the very important holiday shopping season. Despite the fantastic GDP numbers, the news last month wasn't all great. Personal spending growth unexpectedly declined in July, indicating that consumption was weak at the beginning of the third quarter. Since consumer spending accounts for 70% of economic activity in the U.S., a decline in personal spending could be a sign that Americans are cutting back on expenses. However, the same report showed that household income grew during the same period, which could mean that Americans are simply saving more instead of spending money. On the other hand, consumer sentiment rose significantly in August as Americans cheered up and regained their optimism about the economy. One measure of current expectations reached its highest level since before the most recent recession. So, if consumer sentiment is up and personal spending is down, what does that mean for the economy going forward? Hard to say without more data, but we can say that the underlying trends point to sustained economic growth and improvements across the economy. Looking ahead, we expect the situation in Ukraine to affect markets as investors worry about how deteriorating security and continuing sanctions will affect global markets. Although the U.S. economy does not appear to be affected by Russian sanctions, Europe's fragile economy is less able to withstand negative shocks. We'll know more next month. That's it for the August Educational Economic Update. If you have any questions or concerns, please give our office a call at 723-3370. There are a couple things to note. The Brigham City Senior Center is sponsoring a Money Matters lecture series with several advisors participating. You can attend those on Wednesday afternoons at 1 p.m. Once again, this is Scott Nelson with SLN Financial, signing off for the month with August report. While we believe the information in this report is reliable, we cannot guarantee its accuracy. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Please consult your financial professional before making any investment decision. Investment advisory services are offered through AlphaStar Capital Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. AlphaStar Capital Management, LLC, and SLN Financial, Inc. are independent entities. SLN Financial, Inc. does not offer legal or tax advice.